Did I say I was done with Sonic 2? Well, not quite yet, I suppose. Before moving on to the next game, let's take a minute to appreciate the first playable appearance of Sonic's sidekick, Miles Prower, better known as Tails. That big 2 on the box art is not just for show. Sega meant it, and everything about this game feels like it was designed by Harvey Dent, with Tails representing the other half of the combo. Along with the regular campaign, Sonic 2 introduced a 2-player racing mode. This mode has a couple of unique elements of its own, such as randomized power-ups. Not only do mystery boxes hold rings and shields, but they can also switch your position with your opponent, or, if you're unlucky, hurt you. The races can be fun, but they're obviously not the meatiest portion of the game. The more prominent team-up is in the single-player game. Long before the trend of 2-player co-op started making its way into traditionally single-player games, Sonic 2 broke the mold with one of gaming's first AI-controlled partner characters. And he's still one of the best. He doesn't waste your resources, he rarely gets you into trouble, and you never have to worry about leaving him behind. At the same time, while he may snag an extra ring or take out a Badnik, he's not so useful that he completely breaks the game. That said, he certainly does break a few boss battles. When a second player controls Tails, he essentially becomes an immortal robot-destroying machine, making some fights almost comically easy. For instance, in the Chemical Plant Zone, if you exploit the bug that prevents the blue sludge from hurting Sonic, Tails becomes free to attack at his leisure. Tails is also able to safely brave the fire in the Hilltop Zone while Sonic hangs out on the opposite platform, and likewise, Tails can do the dirty work while Sonic is safely bouncing in the oil ocean. But his most useful exploit comes at the end of Metropolis. Without the fear of lasting damage, Tails can attack Robotnik through his shield of balloons, making the fight much faster and easier. Even playing as Tails in a solo game has its own advantages. He doesn't yet have the ability to fly, but he does stand just a few pixels shorter than Sonic, giving him a slightly smaller hitbox and making it easier to avoid some attacks. In the last zones of the game, Sonic and Tails trade places, with Sonic flying on the plane while Tails does the heavy lifting. Sadly, there's no Mecha Tails on board the Death Egg, and while he doesn't get to transform when he collects all the 7 Chaos Emeralds, he does get his own ending. The Tails ending omits the little comic sequence, because that really wouldn't make sense, so he just falls for about 35 seconds longer than Sonic. Still, the little guy gets his own parade of flying chickens, and if flying chickens seem strange, consider this. 2 other animals are flying in this sequence, a pilot hedgehog in the cockpit of a plane, and a mutant fox. At least the chickens are birds. So, how do you feel about Tails? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe, pass this video around to your friends, and come back next week because we're going back in time for Sonic CD.